Recently, I have been working on overhauling the UI for my multiplayer player versus player shooter game Powerlust. Last video I upgraded the lobby UI to this, and in this video I upgrade all of the in-game UI and I do some extra stuff as well, all in 1 week. I upgrade the in-game HUD from this to this, I upgrade the minimap, the leaderboard screen, add some UI polish and much more, so stay tuned for that. My goal for today is to implement a pause menu, because that seems important, and at the moment, if you hit the escape button, nothing happens. So we need a pause menu in the game to allow players to leave games without just having to press Alt F4 and to change graphics settings mid-game. So I plan on working on that today. It doesn't need to be too complicated, as we only really need 3 options: a resume game button, a settings button, and a leave game button. So that shouldn't be a super difficult task for today. So let's go. Okay, so now that we have the pause menu designed, it's time to implement it, because at the moment pressing these buttons doesn't do anything. So I'm gonna go and write some code, and then I'll introduce you to a little something I've made, which will, well, you'll see. And the pause menu now works. As you can see, when I press escape, we get this game menu. We have 3 options. We can resume the game. Well, that's a problem. Alright, that one wasn't too bad to fix. It only took a few minutes. It was just a little oversight when I tried to fix something else. Anyway, as you can see, we have the game menu, and we have a bunch of buttons. We can resume the game, go into the settings, or leave the game. The settings is exactly the same as on the main menu, and it all syncs up. If I were to change that, then it will change on the main menu. There is a little bug where you can shoot while you're in the main menu, because it doesn't stop you from doing that, so you can just have the main menu open while you play the game, although it does block your visibility a bit. And then finally we have the leave game option, which just, yeah, not much to say about that. And now it's time for the thing I was talking about earlier, a little thing I've been working on, that it basically replaces the coding time lapses that were in the last devlog. It's a way to help me explain code a lot easier without just saying, well, without just showing you this. So let's go. Okay, so how does our pause menu actually work? So we have this public class pause menu, and this defines all of the logic that the pause menu buttons use. So this includes the resume button, hiding the pause menu, the settings menu showing a settings menu, and the leave game button allowing you to just leave the game. We need to know if the game is already paused or not. So we do this through a public boolean called paused. We also need an object reference to our pause menu so we can enable and disable it as we need it. So in our update function, we need to check if our player presses the escape key. So we do that simply with if input.getKeyDown keycode.escape. So that checks if we press the key on that frame, then it will continue into that function. So in here, we need to toggle the value of pause. So if the game is paused, we want to unpause it, and if it's unpaused, then we want to pause it. So the way to do this without a lot of if statements is to simply write paused equals not paused, and this just sets paused to the opposite of what it currently is. And then next, we want to tell the menu to turn off or on depending on whether the menu is meant to be on or off or whatever. So we do that with menu.setActive paused. And so what this means, if you press escape and the menu isn't shown, then it will show, but if it is shown, then it will hide itself, which is pretty simple. So now we need the logic for all of the buttons in the menu, which I'm not going to go into too much detail, so here you go. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to get done today, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Today I would like to work on the HUD because although it does look alright, the health bar could use a bit more work, the energy bar looks a bit boring, and also this text in the corner for the weapon details just cannot stay, so we need to do some work on it. Today is going to be more art and design focused, so you can enjoy some time lapses and I can enjoy some, well, art and design. So let's get started by using Affinity Designer to design the UI, which I will then add to the game later. Alright, about an hour and 15 minutes later, and we have this. So as you can see, we have the health bar over here. This is pretty much the exact same as the old one. We have the player's username, the health bar, and also the state of their dash, but it has been reworked a bit. As you can see, there's now an icon next to the amount of health they have to symbolize energy, just because I thought it might help players understand that this energy over here is the same as this energy over here. Then we have the dash cooldown, which instead of just being an icon that shows when the dash is ready, it now shows how long it has left. So that's the player information area. Then up here we have the game information, which contains a minimap, which is now circular because, well, the entire HUD is more circular now. We have an energy bar, and I couldn't work out what to do with this, so I made it thinner and it actually worked because there's less empty space on it. We also have this glow effect in the middle where the colors combine just to make it more clear that these two teams are fighting and it's not just a progress bar. And also here we have the number of energy in each team, which is still the same. Over here we have the kill feed, which is a new feature, and it basically tells you what's going on in the perspective of your team. So as you can see here, your team's always on the left side and the enemy team's always on the right side, and it will never be the other way around. I think I just like it this way because it's less confusing, and as you can see, it just says someone on your team killed this person, and when they die it says someone on your team was killed by someone on the enemy team. That's the kill feed. We then have a pop-ups area here, which I haven't designed anything for it, but it is there if I need it. We have this new part of the screen that shows your weapons. It has numbers for each of your weapons, and then it shows the amount of ammo, and the highlighted one with this little bit here, and also the one that's in the bold text, is the one that you're currently using. And then finally over here we have the abilities. We have the big ultimate ability in the middle and then two little abilities. Of course that's not showing the passive abilities because, well, they're passive. Now that that's done, I'm going to get to work on adding this into the game, which is going to be a bit of a pain. Just to make it a bit easier on me, I'm going to remove parts of the UI that I will deal with later. Anyway, I'll go get started on this. It might take me a while, but also because it's just recreating this, I won't time lapse it. So I'll be back when it's finished. Alright, it has been many hours and I am very tired of this, but the UI, at least the parts that I actually need in the game right now, is done. As you can see in the top left, we have the minimap, which is circular now. We have the energy bar, which is thinner and also has this little glow effect. We have the health bar and a dash cooldown, which does work. And we also have the weapons text, which shows how many bullets you have. The weapons text is pretty much the same as it was before, but it does show which weapon you're using, and I think that it's a lot better than just having a random number in the corner. Anyway, I think it's worth pointing out the way I designed this UI. So as you can see, if I enable all of these, as you can see, the UI is broken up into various regions. And if I disable the UI elements, you can see them more clearly. In the bottom left, we have the player info, like the health bar and the dash cooldown and also the username. Then we have the ability cooldowns here, the weapon info here, and then all of the game info up the top. The reason why I've done it like this is just so if you want some information, you don't have to look all over the screen for it. For example, during combat, the main things you would want to know would be your class abilities, which is why they are positioned directly in the middle. And then also if you need your health or your dash cooldown, it's right here. You probably won't need your weapon information as much, but if you do, it's also down the bottom here with the rest of the important stuff. And then up the top here, we have the less important stuff that can be useful, but the player doesn't really need during combat. So the minimap can tell the player where they are, the energy bar tells them who's winning, and the kill feed tells them what's going on. And then we also have the pop-ups section here. Anyway, that's it from me today. I have spent a very long time working on this, so I am tired. So I guess I will see you tomorrow or something. Today I've been working on a bit of a minimap upgrade for the game because before, well, it didn't look very nice. I added a new tile map, so instead of everything just being this grid texture, it now actually has outlines, although it is a bit hard to notice, which I might have to do something about that in the future. I've also changed the color of the player on the minimap to be this green color, which makes it easier to tell the player apart from their teammates, which still remain the team color. I also added this new icon for the recharge stations because a big green circle doesn't really tell you what it is. So now it's this energy icon. Also, here's something pretty cool that I've done. If you go to the leaderboard screen now, oh look, there's a map here, and it's a map of the entire game, so you can see everything from where your teammates are, and in the future, if I add tracking enemies, then you'll be able to see them on this map too. Hey everyone, sorry about the short devlog segment yesterday. I've been trying out some different ways for editing them, and well, we've had recording the important parts of the day. Yesterday we had just recording the end, and now today I plan on experimenting with just recording everything and editing it together later, which is gonna mean a lot of work for me, but hopefully it makes for better quality devlogs. Anyway, today I plan on working on a little upgrade to the leaderboard screen because it is a little hard to read at the moment. So let's start by jumping into Affinity Designer and designing exactly what I want it to look like. Alright, I'm just gonna get a screenshot of the current leaderboard screen so I can just put that in the background. Anyway, so I'm gonna start by like blocking out the basic parts. I guess first of all we can just use a bunch of squares and remove any spacing in between them so they're just right next to each other. And because this is blue team, I'm gonna color them all like a light blue color, and then every second one will be slightly darker. I'm not exactly sure about how this looks there. Doesn't look great, does it? I guess this is kind of what I was going for. I'm not sure if this is an upgrade or not. If you look at this, I'm not quite sure which is better. Although I guess I could probably try and make it work. I'll go on ahead into the editor, mess around for a bit, see if I can get something good. Alright, so I've gotten half of it here, and now I just have to basically just copy and paste this to the blue team, and then I have to hook it all up. I thought I had everything set up correctly, but it's not working for some reason. Oh wait, I think I know what's happening, because there's another game object with the same name in here as the old UI for the blue team. So I think it's finding that one instead of the one we want it to find, so we'll just rename this to old blue team. And that appears to have worked, so great. I'm not super happy with how the new Leaderboard UI looks, but I think it will be a lot easier to read, because instead of just having random numbers, we actually have these little dark spots to help you like work out which stats belong to each player. Anyway, that's all I had on the list to do today, so I guess I'll see you tomorrow, where I will be working on really exciting parts of the code. Do you remember that UI color setter thing that we made day one of last devlog? Well, because we did the whole UI overhaul thing since then, it kinda doesn't really work. Today we're going to be trying to get the UI color system working with every UI element and just get it to work. So I'm gonna do that by making everything red, and this might take a while, so I'm not gonna time-lapse it because it will probably be boring. While I'm doing that, I would like to talk to you all about why I don't really like this new devlog style. Firstly, it's a lot of work to make. I spend hours working on the game, and then after that I just have to spend even more time working on editing up a segment for the video. I was originally fine with that, but I also feel like it's not really worth it because I just don't have the time to edit everything to a quality level I'm happy with. So the video just kinda ends up as me talking over a video of the Unity editor without much happening. Also, on top of that, it really limits how much I'm able to work on the game because I basically always need to have time to record. And if I don't have time or I don't feel like it, I just can't work on the game. So starting next video, I'm going to be working on a new devlog style, which is pretty much just how I edit these individual days of the devlog now, but instead of splitting everything up, it's all just going to be one thing, and hopefully also better quality. I'm also going to try and keep the same upload schedule, where I upload one devlog every 2 weeks, because I don't really like not uploading for long periods of time. Anyway, if you've made it this far through the video, please consider subscribing. You can get some cool devlog content on this game in the future, and hopefully a lot better quality than this video. Anyway, back to the video. Alright, I've finished making every single UI element red. If you go into the settings menu, it's just a red square now. You can't even see the button. In other parts of the UI, there's still a lot of not red, but it's gonna stay like that because these are things that are kind of not meant to change. And also the HUD is also not red because I don't really need to change that. Anyway, so now I need to go through and actually set up the color scheme. So previously the game was like a light theme, but I'm thinking making a dark theme instead, because I think the accent color being this green color, like this color, I think that will be more contrasty in a dark theme instead of a light theme because it's kind of hard to see sometimes. So I'm gonna go through and set up the colors and then I'll be back. I'll show you how it looks. And here's the new dark theme in the game. I'm not super happy with how it looks. There's still a lot of things that can be improved, but I'll probably just work on them later because they're just small things. But anyway, that's everything I had on the list to do today. Today I did the very boring task of adding some basic UI polish to the game. First of all, I added sound effects, which were quite a pain to add because you can't multi-edit objects, so I have to select each button and individually set it up, and it was really annoying. But And yeah, this also does work for the settings menu, although some of the interactions with things are a bit wacky. Like if you use a slider, that happens. And if you use a drop down and select something. Also, you might have noticed when I opened the settings menu, it has an animation. It doesn't have a closing one, but also all of the UI panels have animations too. Anyway, that's all the progress for today, even though it wasn't a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot, but I spent a very long time with the sound effects trying to work out how to actually do it, and then actually setting it up. Today I plan on doing some small things to the game. I have a few things on my to-do list, but mainly I need to adjust the most valuable player formula on the end screen. I want to get that to include kills, and I also want to go into the map and flip the core room entrance. So you can't. So this is the team base, and we have the core here. However, if you stand about this point here where my mouse is, you can shoot straight down into the core, which I don't really like because it basically makes it really hard to defend, because you can just sit here and shoot the core, and then when someone tries to attack you, just run away up here and they'll never know. But if I flip that, so if you want to attack the core, you have to come through here and then go around. That would make it a lot easier to defend, because now if you want to escape, you have to go all the way around here, and there's just this tiny little gap, so if someone's there, then you're not going to be able to escape. So that's the plan for today. Let's go. Alright, and after just a small amount of work, it is now done. As you can see on the minimap, and in game now, you enter the core room from the back side. However, there has been one small oversight. As you can see, the shadows are a bit messed up, and you know why that is? It's because I forgot to update them, and that's gonna be a pain, so yeah. So I've fixed that now, and as you can see, the shadows are working normally. About the new MVP formula, kills now count to 100 points. So if I have maybe 4 kills, and we'll just say 0 energy balance, then I have 400 points. But if I have 400 energy balance and 4 kills, then that's, well, just 800 points. Because one energy in your energy balance counts as 1 point in the calculation, and then 1 kill is 100 points, if that makes sense. So that's how it works now, and I think that's going to be a bit more balanced, because when I was playtesting, I realized that some people could just sit here, just hold left click. Meanwhile, I was actually being offensive and killing people, but they always got MVP because they were just sitting there and attacking the whole time. So that's how it works now. This video, we added a pause menu to the game, a really important feature that has until now been missing from the game. We upgraded the HUD, completely overhauled the minimap with the new tile map, new icon. We added a big map to the leaderboard. We changed the color of the player's icon on the minimap to distinguish them from their teammates. We upgraded the leaderboard screen to make it much easier to read. We finished the UI color system from last devlog and made our game dark theme. We polished up the UI of the game, adding animations and sound effects to the buttons and panels in the game. And finally, we made some modifications to the map to make attacking the core hard as cheese, and adjusted the MVP formula. So thank you so much for watching this devlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time, it will most likely be in a different style, but I have something pretty exciting planned for that devlog. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Also, please like the video. I forgot to remind you all last time, and we ended up getting 200 views, but only 6 likes. We can do better than that. Let's see if we can get this video to 20 likes, which I don't think we can, but prove me wrong. Anyways, on the left is the previous devlog, and on the right is the entire devlog playlist, and I'll see you all next time.